Hey all you zombies, I'm Ant and welcome to the CubeKrowd Survival Server. Behind me is my base, and as you can see it has progressed quite extensively since last time. I've done a lot of building, particularly on the spiral ramps. The ocean monument down below there has been cleared out. I have got a splat pad in development there. I've just got a few more hoppers to go before I can start enclosing it and start producing the mob system up the center line of the base. And well, it's coming along very nicely. I've had a question about how I generate the spiral ramps, and I thought I might give you a little show about how I went about doing it. So I'll see you in a moment on the CubeKrowd Creative Flatworld, and I'll show you there. Now, the first thing you need to do before you actually start anything is to actually work out what it is you actually want. Now, when I was designing my base, I wanted to put a sphere in the middle, a 32 block diameter sphere. And I wanted the paths to brush the outside of that sphere without leaving any gaps. So now we need an even size. So we'll start with a center point and outset that. Now we don't want to just straight outset it as we did in the previous time. We want to have just a horizontal because we need to have this flat. So let's just outset this, say 50 horizontally. And now let's put a circle around this point. Here's the center, it's even, the Guardian farm was even, so my sphere was even, and my paths need to be on an even diameter. So let's do the sphere. The generate command, we want it hollow, we want it C so that we use real world block coordinates, x squared plus z squared, and we want it to be a 16 radius sphere so that we get a 32 diameter circle. And we need a block. Oh yes. So we need, let's see, stone and let's say polished diorite. That's polished diorite. There we go. Polished diorite. So if we have a look here, I can just double check that against the sphere that I've got in my head here. We've got 4, 3, 2, and then 4 ones. So yes, that will match up with the sphere. So what we want to do is we want to have a path that brushes the outside of that sphere. So what we want is we want that to be an edge, and maybe this to be the path, to make a 5 block path. Then we'll want another path outside. 2, 3, and 1. So this is where the paths should be. Now, rather than trying to lay out all this by hand, let's just draw a few circles and see how it works out. So 16 is the diorite, so we need to have one that's a little bit bigger. Oops, we don't actually want it diorite, we should have it actually as a slab. Now 44.0 is a normal slab, but we want an upper slab, so let's make it 44.8. By adding 8 to the data value, we make an upper slab. If we add 16, we get a double slab. That's something that you don't see explained very often. So 44.0 plus 8 gives 44.8, which is an upper slab. So there's an upper slab. Now if we look, we see we've got a hole here. So this is not going to be hard up against the sphere. This will actually let a shaft of light through if we were using this, but we'll look at that a bit later. Let's continue on and do the next one now. This was 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So another circle of 21. There we go. So this here looks very neat, matches up with this sphere very nicely. but this is not very nice. So what we probably want to do is something like that. We'll continue on. Now, let's repeat this with the other path that we're planning on building. Or at least I am planning on building in my build. So let's see, 22, and rather than slabs, let's actually have a look. We use a quartz slab. So this is 44.7, we want it upper, so 44.7 plus 8, 44.15. So we make this 44.15. Oops, wrong one. Undo. And 22. There we go. And as you can see, we got the same fault that we had here. It's not hard up against the other thing. This is a problem with generating circles. It may work here, but in other places you may either lose or gain. Sometimes you'll go through this, and if I do another one here, it might actually pick those same blocks. So you've got to be careful. And this is why I generate the circles, but I don't follow the circle precisely. I may have to modify. Anyway, this is 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So I want another one at 26. There we go. So there's two paths, and all we need to do now is make sure that they're going to be neat. Now here we've got a nice neat circle. Here we got a bit of a bulge, making it a little bit not quite right. So we'll just fill in those like that, and similarly round here. So we'll just go do that. Now there is our outlines. This will be our sphere, this diorite represents our sphere, and then we have two paths, and there will be no place where you have blocks, shaft of lights getting past the paths, so that you end up with a dark center. That's important because that's where my mob farm will be, and that's going to be open. So this will make it nice and dark in the center for the mob farm. Now we need to fill in this just to work with. So let's see here, we've got a birchwood slab which is 1262. So let's make this an upper slab and fill it in. Now there's a lovely world edit command called fill, and if we fill it in with 1262, we want it upper, so add 8, and then we say fill it by some large number. There we go. Now it's not going to leak because it is a fully enclosed object. Let's repeat the same thing again with the acacia wood slab. So this is 1264, add 8, 12612, so 12. There we go, and yes, it all filled in. So that would represent the plan view of our two paths. Now we're not actually wanting a flat disc like this, or torus, or donut, or whatever else you like to call it. What we want is we want it to be a slanted path. We want it to spiral upward. So what we need to do is we need to figure out what we're going to do to make it slanted. Now I want this here is the center line, so I want this to be flat. So this here, we'll use oak slabs to represent this. This I want to be flat. I want to be able to stick, say, torches on top of this. Okay? Because this will connect up to other objects and other things that my base will be attached to that I can branch out. So we want that there, and we want it to match up here. So boom, 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 like that. The next question is, how high do we want it to slant up? How much higher do we want this to go over to there? So how much higher there? Now, the smaller, this here represents the smallest diameter and therefore the least number of blocks. So if you say using stairs, let's just get some stairs here. Let's just use cobble stairs for now. So if we were building this with stairs, so you would probably have some stairs there, and then you might have a flat layer or something, and you'll go more stairs. If we're going up the highest, like that, you would keep on going round, and eventually you'll end up, say, around here where you've got a bit of a slant. So we'll need to have maybe something. Well, you get the idea. You need to have, can't keep fit it, we need to slab down there. Sorry about the movements, and over. So you'll need to end up with something like that in curving it around. Now that would actually make a very big slope. You'll probably end up with flat areas like this in the middle, and it just sort of doesn't really work for me. So what I do is, instead of using stairs, I would actually go up by slabs. So if this was one level, then I would slab it there, we go up one, then we go up another, and then maybe over here we'll go up like that. And so we end up with a bit more movement like that. Now you count up the blocks of the edge. The smallest edge here, you count up the box, and with the slab stairs you don't want to actually have it jump to on the corner here. So that means the maximum height we can go up is the number of blocks along here divided by 2. Now it ended up to be a bit over 20. I have no idea exactly how many, I never really counted them, but I worked out that it's about 20. So what we want is this platform to be about 10 higher than that platform. So if we go up here 10, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we would want the platform to be here. So you would end up with a platform like that. There we go. And there we go. So what we want is, we want a nice smooth ramp going from there up to there, 10 blocks high. So 10 blocks is not really very nicely divisible, but the center line here we want to be exactly here, and this needs to be 5 blocks up. To do this, we need to subdivide this into appropriate number of sections. Now 10 blocks going up from that point to that point is in half slabs, so that's 20 levels of half slabs. So we need to divide this area up, including that one, excluding that one, into 20 sections. Now I like to have a flat section in the middle, so I'll probably lay out the middle first. So say that is the flat section that I want. So this will be 5 up. So what we need to do is subdivide this into 10. So not counting that one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm just going to do that, and I might make that a bit of a speed thing and see if we can work it out. So let's see here. I'm going to make these ones the lower half. So this will actually be a lower half, that will be a lower slab, top slab. And that will distinguish between them very nicely when I come up to the next level. And there we are. We've now got it subdivided nice and evenly, probably more evenly than the current build I'm building, into the appropriate sections. Now, just to make things easier, I'm just going to actually cut out that and make a copy of it. So, one selection there. I'll head out here. I'm going to put in an outer block out here. One there. Right. And I'll copy it over. I get to the center here. I like this point as the copy point. So copy. Go to here. Rotate it 180 degrees. Paste. So here we've got a copy of it, just in case I stuff up or whatever else. Now the next stage is to actually make this the ramp. We've got it nicely divided up into the appropriate stairs, half slab stairs. This being top slabs, this being the lower slabs. So let's actually do this. I'm going to keep the original colors that I had before. And there we go. That there I've converted from being a flat plane with the appropriate markings to a ramp. I would probably take an image of the flat plane there for the purposes of actually building, but this is the actual end product. Now, I would normally have them all the same color, but you need a reference when you're trying to do the construction work. So what I would do now is I would take a copy of this and move it out so that I can actually play with it a bit more, clean it up and just see what's going on. So let's just grab a copy there. I'm taking this so that it includes the full base here. So it overlaps a little bit. That's okay. So let's actually try and avoid a bit. We'll just grab a copy from here through to this corner. And we'll drop down to the bottom here. Doesn't really matter where I make the copy first. So copy, and now I'm going to move right out quite a bit of ways. That'll do. And paste. Oh, where is it? Okay, there it is. Okay, so now I can just sort of clean this up. I like using replace 0 because it actually replaces actual blocks with air. It doesn't replace air blocks with air, it's just the blocks that need replacing. So here we have it, We probably don't need this anymore either, so I'll just grab rid of that. So there's our template. This is our extracted ramp, and we can try this and see how well it turns out as a spiral. So we grab a copy here, and the opposite corner over here, and go back down. And what I do is I stand here on the platform. That way, when I build the next copy, I can be standing on the platform in the same position up there and get it right. So let's see. Copy. Now I can head up the ramp. I can stand on the same position here. I can rotate. Let's see if we get the direct angle right. Sometimes you have to rotate minus 90 rather than 90. And then we go paste. And perfect fit. The ramp the platform I was standing on also was replaced, but that's okay. Not necessary. And we can continue doing that. So we stand here and we say rotate, paste. Up again. Right position. Rotate, paste. And we'll do it 2 more times, just so we can see how it looks. And there we go. So here is our spiral ramp. Of course, this was built with World Edit, but it gives you the template to see what's going on. Now I would look at the ramp and see how smooth the curve is. That's very good. It's transitioning very nicely. I'm not seeing too many flat spots. In fact, even the flat spot in the middle here is hardly noticeable. That's it there. I was almost thinking it was there. That's how good it is. So it's actually working out extremely well. So that is a really good slab staircase ramp. It's probably even better than my current build, I would say, but then I've had practice. So this is Ant. This is Ant's Minecraft, and that is how you build a spiral ramp. Good night, all you zombies.